Hello and welcome. This is Phoenix Unleashed, and I am your host, Shipra Hendry. Sorry for the background noise. I thought I'd come out to work. Sometimes when I come out to work in a coffee shop, I get a lot done, inspired by J.K. Rowling. Anyway, uh, I hope it's not too noisy for everybody. So it's a very, 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 very important time right now. We are literally a few days before the first day of the month of Nisan. The month of Nisan, the name Nisan, as all words in Hebrew describes its content. Nisan comes from the word nes, which means miracles, miracle, Nisan. Two nuns, as the Lubavitcher Rebbe said many times, means miracles upon miracles, or miracles of miracles, which doesn't just mean upon, but means that you have miraculous compared to the miraculous. You have miraculous that goes deeper than the previous miraculous. It's just miracles all over the place and in every direction. So why is this so important? Because on the 3rd of Nisan in 1989, the Rebbe said and delivered an incredible talk, and I don't think it's that widely known. I stumbled on it by accident years ago. Anyway, within that talk, and if, in case you are interested and able to do this, it's Gimel Nisan, Tazria, Mem Tes. So in that Sicha, in that discourse, the Rebbe talked about how it is time now. We talked about how every Rosh Chodesh Nisan, every first day of Nisan, which is not just the beginning, but the Rosh, the head, the seed of the entire month, the head of the thing, includes the entirety of the whole thing that will unfold. So every Rosh Chodesh Nisan, there is an entirely new, brand new, never before revealed in history, never before accessible in history, influx into the human sphere of miracles and redemption. So Rosh Hashanah, every Rosh Hashanah, Rosh again, Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year, Rosh Chodesh, the head of the month, every Rosh Hashanah, this new influx comes in on a completely higher level than ever before in regard to the laws of nature, the nature of the nature of nature, the decree, the potential, what's going to unfold during the year, how we can interact with that. But on Nisan, that's the playing field. Like if you were playing a game, imagine that that's the board. So the board changes, and what's possible in the board becomes more. But the power to the players, to the pieces on the board, that comes in Rosh Chodesh Nisan. That, by the way, Rosh Chodesh Nisan this year is Friday night and Saturday, Shabbat. At that moment, and throughout that day, and then unfolding throughout the month, and then again through the continuing to unfold through this incredible coming year, is the power for the supernatural. It is the power given to the players on the game board. That means to you and me and every human being who aligns with this mission and does the work, the refinement, consciousness, spiritual work, to download those extreme supernatural powers. So every Rosh Chodesh Nisan, there is a new power coming into the world for the supernatural, for redemption and miracles. But imagine that every year you're getting a truckload, or maybe that's too much. You're getting a wagon load of presents for your birthday. And those presents, you haven't had time to unwrap them, or you're not interested, or more likely you don't even know that they're there. They go into the garage, and the garage keeps accumulating with all of these presents. But until you unwrap them, until you engage with them, you're not going to be able to use them. They're not. In fact, nobody will be able to use them. They're like secret, hidden presents, hidden gifts that are just inaccessible, not because they're not there, but because you're not aware that they're there. You're not going to unwrap them. You're not going to use them. That's what needs to change right now. It is the human element. And when I say human, I mean, in this case, the soul in the body, the divine soul in the body, that human element, that human choice, that human intention, that human action, which is one of our huge superpowers. The power of action is a hack. It hacks reality. Okay, our human potential and our human choice will allow us to integrate, to download, and to use, to activate and use these superpowers to literally change our lives in the world. It's a very exciting time because every year this wagon load of presents has gone straight into the garage, and most of us have no clue that it's even there. But whatever has been there until now is really nothing compared to what's about to come in. So the first thing is awareness. We have to know what is really happening in this world. That is not just like informational knowing, but it's an integrated knowing, a, an activation of your das, of your consciousness, that allows you not just to hear, but to really feel and experience the depth of what's possible now, the depth of what reality really is, the depth of what's happening, the depth of the spiritual, energetic, and divine levels that exist both within you and all around us. When you can tap into those levels, you're hacking the whole thing. So, again, I'm here to remind all of us, as part of my role, that we are not to be blindsided or derailed on a permanent basis. Everybody gets derailed, you know, occasionally and maybe frequently, but from trigger to transformation, from trauma to wisdom, the deepest light is in the darkness, and the derailment is just an opportunity to reconstitute with more miraculous powers, with more divine consciousness, with more ability to affect your own life and the whole. That's real. It's real. Okay? Don't believe that it's real. Just allow for the fact that it is real. Just allow for the possibility that it's real, and start dipping your toes in that water, because it will make a massive difference if you really do it. It will. So we want to be aware that something is happening, and that it's not only happening on the surface. It's not only about the agendas that we talk about here. It's not only about the governments. It's not only about, you know, challenges, threats, money. We're going through a time of incredible change. Everyone is, the world at large, and each one of us in our own lives in our own way. And that is on purpose. We are going through this evolutionary process, this metamorphosis, this transformation. We are the channels between heaven and earth. I'm talking to you. You are a channel between heaven and earth. Are you blocked or are you open? That's the real question. Are you a victim or are you the hero of your own narrative? What does it mean to be a hero? It means looking deeper. It means operating not just on the surface, but from the deeper energetic and spiritual level. Like I think I might have mentioned in last week's show, or maybe the week before, maybe it was somewhere else. But anyway, there's a story that I heard actually from someone who was there, a rabbi in Minnesota, Rabbi Fellers. Anyway, he told a story of how in the 70s he took a group of college students to see the Rebbe. And if you heard this from me before, it's worth hearing again. Took a group of college students to see the Rebbe. This was in the 70s, okay, long time ago. And those students, one of them, they were given the opportunity to ask questions of the Rebbe. And one of them said, I hear that you're a miracle worker. And I want to know, is that true? Can you do miracles? And the Rebbe answered him indirectly, but profoundly, as often happened. He said, what is a miracle? Whatever exists in the world of thought automatically changes something in the world of action, in the physical world. So when you can reach up and change something in Olam HaMachshava, in the world of thought, it will change in Olam HaMaseh, in the world of action, automatically. Okay, is that a miracle? Yes. But even miracles, we don't want to, we think of a miracle as like something that just happens to us, something that has no rhyme or reason, something that is beyond logic and just, so we have no access to it. Now, here's the next thing that the Rebbe says in this incredible discourse. And by the way, when the Rebbe gives a discourse, when any great tzaddik gives a discourse, it's a divine download that's coming through the tzaddik. If you're a channel between heaven and earth, there are central souls in this universe, very few, in every generation. Moses was one. Abraham was one. The Rebbe obviously one. Okay? Those central souls, like Adam Eve, which originally was created male and female, the core one. We're all sparks, we're all cells in that cosmic body. So we are all included in the central soul. Our souls are included in it, and that central soul is included in the core of our own souls. So this is a fractal holographic universe. But the central soul, him or herself, is able to connect heaven and earth in cosmic ways, in vast ways, but then it has to come down through us, like the body, like the circulatory system. The blood comes through the big veins and arteries, but it's got to go through the capillaries, the minor veins and arteries, and then the capillaries to get into the cells. That's what you are doing. That's what I'm doing. The potential is here. It's here. It's so vast we cannot even imagine it. It's real. It's in place. It's waiting for what? For you and for me to lean in with intention, with consciousness, with knowledge, and with action. So here's the deal. And this is the other piece that I want to explain here. It's crucial for all of us to know it. The Rebbe said that it is now time, because so much of the miraculous power, which, by the way, he described it as the heritage of Jacob and his descendants, which is the souls of Israel, those are the specific channels for miracles and redemption, the carriers of the Torah. I'm here to say that the Torah is for everyone, redemption is for everyone, miracles are for everyone, but to be connected to this system of veins, arteries, capillaries, the cosmic superstructure, you need to connect through the Torah. You need to connect through the Torah, which is for everyone. So the Torah is divine consciousness and wisdom. You need to connect to the mission in a very sincere and authentic way, and then do the work. So the Rebbe said that because of all of the years that this potential has come into the world, whether unwrapped in the garage or otherwise, it is now time for each of us to become miracle makers, to make miracles. These are quotes. By our teva, by our nature. So remember, I said before that we think of miracles as something, just beyond us. It's something random. It's something that could, we don't have access to. We could pray for it. We could hope for it. It happens. We could notice it. We could not notice it. Truthfully, there's so much more to say about miracles, because everything is miraculous, because nothing is solid and nothing exists separate from the creator. Everything is being brought into being at every instant, now, with the divine intention and purpose, including you, including every aspect of your life. But let's leave that for the moment. It's time for us, and this is really what we're being told, to take those powers that were once reserved for heaven, for the supernatural, for the extreme spiritual, and activate them from within our natural, physical, identity-based, ego-based, hopefully enlightened ego, everyday life. And the Rebbe said this in this particular discourse, which I gave you the name, I gave you the reference if you're able to learn that on your own. He said it, I'm just estimating, but maybe up to 20 different times within about 20 pages, so that we have to do miracles, not that we have to wait for miracles, not that we have to expect miracles, not that we have to pray for miracles. All of those things are true. But here's the big mystery. Here's the giant download. We have to actually make miracles by our nature. And Rebbe kept saying this, by our nature, by our teva, which means that it's time for us to merge the spiritual and physical, to merge the divine creative powers with our own personal lives, that when we become part of the mission, we're entrusted with superpowers to the degree that we can be trusted, right? Trusted equals entrusted. How much can you be trusted? How much are you part of this mission? How much do you care? How much of your own avoda, you're molding the clay of your being, your beliefs, the way that you look at life, your everyday, the frame in which you operate. How much are you willing to work with that on behalf of the divine mission? Your relationship with God, to turn it from distant to intimate, from fear-based to awe and love and partnership-based. This is co-creation, and the time is now. So how do we, very briefly, I'll say a little more, how do we start this process of activating the ability, our hidden ability to do miracles by our nature? We have to go beyond our nature. When we go beyond our nature, God goes beyond his nature. He's creating the natural laws. All the laws of nature are being created also in real time, now and now and now and now and now. They don't exist independently. They don't have any kind of force other than what they're being given in the instant, again and again. So when you change the way that you perceive, what's your nature? First of all, the way that you see things, your consciousness, what's your worldview, what's real to you? Now, Kabbalah, authentic Kabbalah, Shar Yichud explains that this concept of tavuna, which I brought up before, which means bina, which means the left brain information, the left brain's worldview absorbed by the physical brain, like a sponge absorbs water. So when you absorb divine information, divine consciousness in your physical brain, that's a process. We work on that in the School for Spiritual Empowerment and the Influencers Program. It's a core of my life. It's a core of the work. It's foundational, essential, absolutely essential. But when we do that work to download, to understand the spiritual information, not just like something up here, like I described miracles as up here, something random, something out there, something out of our control, out of our realm. Occasionally we'll feel it, glimpse it, experience it, but no, when we download divine consciousness, the perspective of the soul, into the physical brain, our whole experience of reality changes. It's like the cosmic paradigm shift. So we start to see deeper levels. We start to be able to reach up into that world of thought through prayer and alignment and so forth, and empowered action, and to bring down something completely new. So that starts with the consciousness, changing the nature of nature. That's what we're talking about, changing the nature of our nature, the consciousness. And then when we have absorbed that new consciousness in our brain, the physical brain, now the physical brain is a receptacle, a holding place for divine consciousness. Now that automatically influences the heart, because it seeps down into the heart, and the emotions, just like when you have a paradigm shift. Think about it. When you have a paradigm shift, everything changes automatically in an instant. Like, let's say that somebody ignored you, somebody you thought was your, cared about you, when they ignored you, or they were nasty, and you're all kinds of resentful and feeling bad and feeling shame and feeling anger and all this stuff that's so human. And then you find out that, God forbid, they just had some huge emergency, and they were just in reaction. And when you find that out, you see a different piece of the picture. Everything shifts in the way that you feel. All of a sudden, from anger and shame, you feel love and compassion. And it can be as quick as that. So when the physical brain, fully absorbs a spiritual concept to the point of tavuna, of this union between the spiritual and physical, it affects the heart automatically. Now, there are other ways to influence our emotions, our beliefs. There are many, many different entry points. But I just want to bring this home. That's changing the nature of nature. That's changing the nature of your nature. And then there's the world of action. So there are three actual governing bodies, governing organs in the body. According to Kabbalah, it's called, the acronym is Melech, which means king. So the brain is Moach, that's the M, the Mem. The heart is Leib, that's the L. And the liver is Kaved. Which one is it? Anyway, it adds up. This acronym spells Melech, spells king. So there are three different levels, corresponds to three different levels of the soul. In case you want to know, the neshama is in the moach, and the brain, that's the consciousness of the soul. The emotions, the ruach, are in the lev, in the heart, and then the power of action is in the kaved, in the liver, in the blood. That's what gives you life force. So your power of action also needs to be aligned, and your action is a very big hack, because you are empowered to do things. You have the power to do things that your mind and heart really aren't yet caught up to. You can kind of create in reverse. Okay, I'm not going to go deeply into this, but in the subject of changing the nature of your nature, in order to activate this miraculous power that's coming in the first day of Nisan and throughout Nisan and forevermore, throughout the year, throughout this incredible, turbulent, potential rich, transformational, who knows what crazy year, we want to be miraculous. So yes, change your consciousness. Yes, change your emotions. But most easy, most accessible is to change your actions. So when you go beyond your nature, when you, let's say, want to go to sleep without, I don't know, in a bad mood, you want to go through the day feeling like a victim. Not that you want to, but we make those choices unconsciously all the time. Or you get in an argument with somebody and you don't want to be the bigger person. You want to hold the resentment, or you shut down a relationship with your creator, with your source, because you feel so angry and so scared and so troubled. It's all natural, but you can hack the system by going beyond. You can hack the system by taking another step beyond what you would normally do. When you take a step, and I'm going to leave it at this, although there's so much more to explore here, but this is just the overview. But when you take a step beyond your nature, whether in consciousness, in emotions, or most powerfully from where we are, in action, you're literally stepping into the quantum. You're literally stepping into a new destiny that is not based on your history. Why? Because your history tells you that this isn't, this is how I react, this is how I respond, this is how I see things, this is what I do, this is what's possible, this is what's not, this is the way it is. The minute you take a step beyond that, you've literally invoked an entirely new dimension of reality. Now, the Rebbe discusses this also in the discourse, in the Sikha, in great depth. But this happens not one time, because as the Baal Shem Tov, the founder of the Hasidic movement, great mystic, Kabbalist, central soul, that was the teacher for so many central souls, he said that what is a miracle? It's a break in the laws of nature, we put in quotes, the first time it happens. But after it's happened the first time, now it's part of nature. It's the new potential brought down because it happened in the physical world. So now that's the platform from which we go into the next level. So you're breaking your nature. It's like the first time. Now it's becoming that supernatural ability to move beyond yourself is part of your nature. Spend a little time integrating it, but then you want to break through again. You want to break through again. You want to break through again. Now, God is doing this with us in the world. He's changing things. He's gotten all of our attention, at least when we're not really shut down, right? There is absolutely nobody in the world, I'm assuming, who is still walking around figuring that next week is going to look like last week and next year is going to look like last year. We're way beyond that now. And that was unpredictable. And it's happening level after level after level. It's challenging. It's really challenging to keep up with. But that's because we are operating on the level of the physical, where the physical is breaking, like the shell, when the chicken is hatching, the shell is breaking and cracking. We want to get to the deeper level, Olam HaMachshava, the world of thought, the world of the soul, the higher divine consciousness, this deeper level that will then give rise to a different physical. And we need to master this. It's not a joke. Okay, so that said, I'm going to end with this, and I'm going to also say, if you would like to know more about my work, we're working on some really accessible new products that will give you a strong taste. So I'm going to be emailing out about those really soon. If you're not on my email list, you want to go to the gateofunity.com and just put your name in, 7 Kabbalah Secrets or any other, there are a few signups on that website. Just sign up. You'll be on my list. You must be on my list if you want to have access to the things that I'm up to. You want to be in that inner circle. So that's number one. Number two, if you want to find out about the deeper work, how you can be in the school, be part of the School for Spiritual Empowerment, which is so rich, literally dozens of matrix holographic soul prayer healing sessions that are there for you to just pick and choose and use as much as you want. Transformational classes, in-text classes on all different levels. Okay, there's so much there. Plus, there are live classes twice a month, and then every month we have a live Q&A where you can interact with me, ask your questions live, chatter on screen, and we do a special custom matrix for the school, for the people who were there, and or the influencer program, which is all of that, and mentorship, trainings, tools, transformation, healings, and access to me on a whole other level. If you want to know more about that, then I have underneath this video, I have my email, and you can reach out to me. Let me know. Okay, put more information in the subject line. All right, that's it for today. Good Chodesh. Okay, Chodesh Tov, as they say in Israel. In Hebrew, may we experience these miracles in a way that brings us joy and healing. Really, really, really. In the supernatural love and revealed blessings of the Creator. And to be blessings to our lives and to our world. Take care, everybody. See you next.